Good morning. Happy Monday. I'm the Moon Mama. How's everybody doing today? Okay, I'm going to just keep the video going. I just got a notification that my son's class is going to be starting soon, but he's not here, so I don't have to think about that in this moment. So, again, happy Friday. I'm the Moon Mama. Today is a Venus day, and Venus is the day that governs how we restore ourselves. Venus is the planet of relationship, of art, of the reflection, the partner. Venus is also what governs money. Did you guys know that? Venus governs money. That saying, do what you love and the money will come. Follow your heart and the money will come. Things like that, that's all Venus. And so my next class on Venus Retrograde is going to be about Venus and money. And Dr. Monaco Ogando is going to come and talk with us about how to form our relationships with money and really what money really is. And so I'm super excited about that. But today we have a new moon. We have a new moon at 10:38 a.m. and we are in Venus retrograde energy because this is a Venus day. Venus is in Gemini. We have a new moon in Gemini, which means the moon and the sun are both in Gemini today. So we have the moon, the sun, Gemini, the moon, the sun, Venus, and Mercury all in Gemini today. Wow, this is fantastic because Gemini is the constellation that governs perception. It governs communication, and I talk about that, how we talk, how we think, but it's perception, and perception is a bit of a superpower if we understand how it works. The thing about our minds and our perception and our thinking is that the thinking creates our reality. The Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. As you think, so are you. So if you think you are rich, you're rich. If you think you're beautiful, you're beautiful. If you think that you are successful, you're successful. It's this capacity to be able to influence the electromagnetic field through your thinking, through this unseen faculty. Literally, there is a field around us right now. We're in it. We are immersed in it as if we are like fish in water. We are humans immersed in a field that is invisible. It is entirely alive. I didn't read it, but there's a New York Times article that says the earth is entirely alive. It is entirely alive. And it reads your energetic frequency imprint through your thinking, through your pineal gland. It takes the information that you're putting out, and then it moves fast enough to bring you what's inside of you to the outside experience, because we're in a thing that we don't understand that we're in, but it's happening. And so it's weird. It's weird to talk about. It's a very surreal kind of understanding, but the electromagnetic field is reading your imprint, your thoughts, and bringing to you what you think. And the energy on the planet is changing. And so as we are watching the old constructs come undone, there is a lot of chaos, which means it's sort of like the wild, wild west. It's like we're at the beginning of a new, huge cycle. So there's a bit of a free-for-all. There is... it's like all this open new energy that can be used to create what it is you desire, but it requires focus. It requires intention. It requires attention and managing your power and managing where you put your energy. So it's fascinating that this is happening at a time when we have all of this fear and this coronavirus. So many of us are getting swept up into that chaotic experience. It's like being pulled down by quicksand. And so the question is, how do you get out of it? But for those of us who are not distracted by that, the work is to focus on what you are, on where you're going. There's this, I love the Bible. I grew up reading the Bible. Well, you don't know I love the Bible, but I grew up reading the Bible. And the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, it's the story of this city that... the way it's told in Western Christian is that it was full of sin. So the angel came to destroy it. And that's not the part that I care about. But it's like he helped these two women leave the city of Sodom and Gomorrah. And he said to them, Do not turn back, because if you look back, you will turn into a pillar of salt. And salt is a preservative. So what he was saying is, if you look back, your mind will be preserved in the state that it was when you were there. So that's the point of this. That's the point of this mercurial energy, to stay forward, because what you're looking at, what you're focusing on, is what you're going to become, because that is what is in your mind, what you're telling the electromagnetic field. So if you're looking back and thinking of old things and old relationships, you're going to be preserved in that old way. Right now, all the energy is new. So you want to be focusing on where you're going. That's why I teach people to let go of things, to take the Venus retrograde course, so that you can see where you're holding on to old ideas and old patterns, and you want to let those patterns go so that you can create new experiences, new love experiences, new relationships with money, new relationships with your body, with your senses, all of those sort of things. But it means being forward thinking and coming outside of the past. Mercury is the fastest planet in our solar system, and it is generated by the light of the sun. So your thinking, your thoughts are very impactful in your reality, so as you think. But Venus is the heart, and Venus is the center, right? So Venus is the next planet closest to the sun. So the heart and the mind, when they work together, your feelings, how you feel, connected to what you think, then you generate the reality that you desire, that you are focused on. You might not desire it. You might be generating something you absolutely don't desire, but because you've not mastered the thinking faculty and the feeling faculty, you will generate whatever you're focused on. So this is why we do affirmations. This is why we don't listen to the media. This is why we spend time with people who are like us, who are thinking, who are creative, and who understand how this stuff works. Because who you surround yourself with is who you're likely to become. That's how it works. Unless you're someone who's clear and doesn't absorb other people's energy, who isn't like extraordinarily empathic, you can hang out with folks who are not like you, and lead them into a new way of being. Wow. So the new moon happens today at 10:38 a.m. in Gemini, and Gemini is the constellation, like I said, that governs the mind, but it's also about your socialization. It's also about taking in information. And we're going to have a full moon in 2 weeks in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is about the truth. So you see, we have these energies, these polarities. One is about taking in information, absorbing your environment. What do you perceive? Like, can I see everything? Like, I want to know everything. That's Gemini. What can I see? What can I learn? What's going on here? And then Sagittarius looks at that information from a higher perspective and says, what's true? What's really what it says it is? And then what will I take with me to incorporate into who I am, to live my philosophy in truth, in alignment with the integrity of who I am, who God created me to be. So this is a really significant time. It's a beautiful time, and I just feel so blessed to see it for what it is, and to be able to have a tool to come outside of the old construct that's coming undone. And so I just give thanks for each and every one of you. And on the Gemini New Moon, I'm going to say a prayer so that we can tap into what's really available to us. The thing that's most significant to me is, in this body that I'm in a Black woman's body, for us to understand our ancestry and what conspired for us to be where we are today, to understand our power, that for 400 years, our ancestors were a part of a system where they gave birth to one baby after the next that was born into captivity. And then for 400 years, our ancestors physically, because we didn't do it alone, because white people were a part of it, and Asian people, there are a lot of, but we were the foundational creators of this American system. We built it with our blood and our bones. Our ancestors built it with our blood and our bones, and we still carry that energy today. And so, as we have been a part of a system that has truly worked to extract our energy, our love, our joy, that has worked to give us absolutely nothing in return for what we have put in, my intention is that we take our power back in consciousness. We don't have to go to war. We don't have to use guns. We don't have to do anything other than say, I take my power back to use as I desire for myself and for my family and my community, however I desire to do it. You do not have to hate anybody. You don't have to be angry. All you have to do is say, I take my power back. And so, Heavenly Father, Mother God, how good it is to know that there is only one life, and that life is the life of God, everything, everywhere. Mountains, earth, water, oceans, rivers, humans, insects, animals. Every being that has ever lived on this planet is a part of the same thing, God, the creator of all things. And so as we are in this Venus energy today, I know that as the new moon in Gemini comes in, that the stories that we tell are stories of wholeness, of healing, of freedom, of power, of love, of grace, of newness, and of taking our power back. And so I know that the ancestral power that built this country, the ancestors of every Black woman and Black man who sacrificed their energy, their time, their love for this nation to become what it is today, I know today in this moment that we take our power back. We claim it back to ourselves to use as we desire, to use as we want, to write the stories that we choose to live, that we choose to create, to be empowered in the God energy that is ours, to live, to create, to love, to be, to experience as we choose, as we desire, as we say, from the bottom of the energy of our souls, our ancestry, from the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, for every ancestor that crossed over, that lived and died, I call back that power now in love and forgiveness and freedom to be the gods and goddesses that we are born to be. For this and so much more, I give thanks. I let it be. I trust that everyone who is within the sound of my voice feels the majesty and the energy of the power returning to them now. Ashe. And so it is. Peace and blessings, everyone. Have a beautiful, beautiful new moon in Gemini. Blessings.